I spent over 150 hours in WWE 2k24, and now we are breaking everything down mode by mode to see exactly how this game ranks. How do we do a review like this? Because I am tired of reviewers playing the game for like 2 or 3 hours, being like, yeah, it's an 8 out of 10, it's a 9 out of 10. No, you need more time than 3 hours. You need 150 hours. So that's exactly what we did. So this is a full review breakdown of WWE 2K24 mode by mode to let you know, is it worth picking up right now? Should I wait? Should I throw it in the trash because it's hot garbage? Or is this game special? Is this a new game to contend with the No Mercies and the WWE 2K14s and the Here Comes the Pains? Let's find out as we break down everything in this review.
Right now on BeachBytes.
We are going to start off with Showcase mode. That's right, this is the mode that they sell the game on. This is where all the ads come from. This is all the taglines at all your favorite gaming stores. This is where it's at, is Relive WrestleMania. We've done this before in 2K14. We had 30 years of WrestleMania, but that was 10 years ago, and we have a lot of new players that have never played the game before coming in, and so this is their first taste of Showcase mode. So I'm not going to sit here and rate it just based off 2K14. What I'm going to do is rate it off all the other showcase modes and let you know exactly what you're getting in this year's showcase mode specifically. So this is the 40 years of WrestleMania, and you are greeted with a wonderful host of matches to go through and unlockables, and everything you could want in a showcase mode is there. For 40 years of WrestleMania, they did the 21 matches. Are they the best matches in the world? It's open for you to decide what your favorite matches are, what you wanted to be in showcase. But the 21 matches they picked string across, of course, 40 years of WrestleMania. And I think the presentation wise, from Corey Graves giving us the backstory, and we're going into the studio, and then he stops to do some commentary, and then he lays out the plans. If you've never played a wrestling showcase before, this is a history lesson. It's one of the best modes they've ever done. They've done this interview style thing before with Daniel Bryan in 19 and Rey Mysterio in 22. They changed it up a little bit, letting Cena narrate in 23, and now here we are, and Corey Graves is doing it for 24, and I think he did an absolutely outstanding job on this. I was very intrigued in going in, and now keep in mind, I play Showcase just to unlock everything. I'm not that big of the Showcase guy because I've gone through it. I've seen it all before. It is a nice nostalgia pop. But how does it hold up as a game mode? So for the presentation, it's wonderful with Corey Graves there. I think the presentation is top notch. The way you go through each match and you go down this timeline, I love everything about it. The stories are wonderful. If you've never heard them before, it gives the WWE spin on them. If you have heard them before, a lot of Easter eggs for you. So it's really, they did a great job writing it for everybody. But then we get to the gameplay. And the gameplay is where it loses me every year, because you have to complete objectives to reenact those matches that happened in the past, which is awesome, but it's always the same stuff. Corner whip your opponent into the ring, or do a combo, light combo. It feels like a busy work almost while the game's loading the next cutscene. This would make a great documentary series, but then having to cut in and cut out, and cut in and cut out while you're playing slows the gameplay down, but also because you're just doing objective base, it takes all of the fun part of wrestling out of it, and you're left with just do this objective to watch this, to do this objective to watch this, and I'm not a fan of that. Really, I wish they would, you know, do something different with it. Let us play the match out, or but the combo thing has been around for years, and I'm still not a huge fan of it. I do, however, love the slingshot technology this year. The slingshot technology, if you don't know, is when it is cutting from a match into real life cutscene and then from the cutscene back into your gameplay. And this year is seamless compared to what they've done in the last couple years. It was around in 22 and 23, and now here it is in 24, and they are really getting it perfected. I am so excited to see how it evolves for 2K25. But for WWE 2K24, it works absolutely perfect. I love the cutscenes. There were several times where I was like, oh, I'm playing again. I love that feeling. So they nailed that down too. My problem with it is objective based gameplay. It's just let me do more in the ring than Irish whip my opponent or do heavy and light combos. I wish there was more to it than that. But overall, if I'm looking at it just as this, as just, okay, am I going to play this mode? Is it a history lesson? Yes. Presentation, outstanding. Slingshot technology, better than ever. The unlockables are awesome. They went and gave us not only the WrestleMania arenas, but the gear that they were wearing in those matches and a few little Easter eggs of other stuff you can unlock along the way. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. But the gameplay is what hangs me up. So, because I don't like that kind of gameplay, we're going to go ahead and score this. It's an 8 out of 10. If gameplay counts for 2, it's 8 out of 10. If you've never played a showcase before, you will love this. It's a great time, wonderful. Just the whole story was awesome to go through. I love the way they did it. If you played showcase for years, the gameplay is the same as it always has been. So that's what you're getting into. But again, the presentation, the unlockables, the cutscenes, all of it was absolutely a ride worth taking. But let me know in the comments below what you think about the showcase mode. Are you tired of it? Do you wish there was something else? Or do you absolutely love it? Let me know what you guys think about the WWE 2K24 Showcase of the Immortals. Ah, Creation Suite, the thing that keeps the lifeblood of the community so going so far after the game's release and after DLC and putting stuff in that isn't supposed to be in and putting stuff in that should be in. And there's a lot of stuff that you do in the Creation Suite in WWE games, and every year it just gets bigger and better. This year is a lot better than 2K23's. Is there still some hiccups with it? Absolutely. Do we have everything back from the older games? No, we don't. Do we have a lot of stuff to choose from? Yes. Can we make the greatest cause of all time? Probably, because day one there's stuff that it looks like, okay, you spent your first 150 hours just building that character. So it is possible to make your wildest dreams come true if you're creating that superstar. For creating highlight reels, they added new camera angles, the ramp cams back for the first time in a long time, and it's really cool. If you've never played with a ramp cam, you don't understand how special that is, and if you have, they nailed it pretty good. But try the ramp cam out. It is fun. You don't need to do it on every match, but do it once in a while. It's worth playing around with. They added create a sign, which is actually really cool. So you can create signs that aren't in the game and put them in there. There's so many new WWE designs. They didn't add a whole lot to our custom designs this year or flags or anything like that. But for the WWE side of it, that and arena logos, they did add new ones this year. And there's a lot to choose from. Every superstar has a 2 or 3 variation of old shirts or old things that you can use to create multiple logos. I'm really happy with the way the Creation Suite came out this year. I'm glad that we have more options on things. Does it have a way to go? Absolutely, but it's the best incarnation of creation mode that we've had. Create an Arena has less restrictions on it this year, so you're able to go through and make the arena of your dreams. The Create a Show, we can actually use the arenas we unlock in custom shows this year so we can put them in universe mode. If you need to know how to unlock any of those games, I do have a complete playlist on the channel so you can get every one of those arenas unlocked for yourself. And you can use them in the creation suite, which is really cool this year because we haven't been able to do that since 19. I don't know why it took them so long to get back to this, but I'm glad they did. It makes me want to play 24 and unlock things so that I can, use everything in the game. It's really cool with that. But overall, how would I rate Creation Suite? It's awesome. It's the best that it's ever been. This is the best Creation Suite version. Is there some hiccups? Yes. Is there more stuff to do that's not hiccupic? Is hiccupic a word? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But it is now for today. So I give this, it's fun. Absolutely awesome. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 if we're putting numbers on it. Because there's still a few things that need to be adjusted and things that need to be added. But a lot of things work that didn't work, and overall it is an awesome experience this year. Let me know in the comments below though what you guys think about Creation Suite. Is it the best Creation Suite of all time, or is there something that I'm forgetting? Let me know in the comments below, but I think Creation Suite is actually pretty cool. Before we get to the next topic, hey, did you know that BeachBurnBob is on all social media? Yes, I did know. You can follow BeachBurnBob on social media. Get BeachBytes wherever you use it. And if you can't find it on that platform, tell me so I can add it to the crazy list of everything that we have. So how does General Manager mode rank against all the other General Manager modes in WWE 2k24? How is it this year compared to the older games of past? We're going to review completely now the General Manager mode in WWE 2k24. General Manager mode this year makes its return to 2K doing it. It was in 2K22, 2K23. It is now almost perfected in 2K24, but there are some hiccups. And of course, if you go and compare it to SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, 2007, 2008, they were the ones that had the General Manager mode that we all grew up with. If you've never played those modes, then 24 is the perfect jump off for you to go in and play General Manager mode, because they've added so many new things to it and things that made it better, but they've also added a few things that I don't agree with. There's a few changes in it that I don't like whatsoever. You'll let me know in the comments below what you guys think about General Manager mode. But for reviewing General Manager mode, this is how I feel about it. Is it fun? Absolutely. If you love simulation style managing everything, it's great of putting your toes in the water. There's other sports games that have this perfected with their franchise mode or their owner mode that give you so many aspects to it. Well, this is what General Manager mode is trying to give you in wrestling, and I think they do a great job with that. If you've played the past two games, I'll go over what's new to the game real quick. First off, there is trades in the game, which is awesome. It was something that we wanted. We should have trades. The problem is trades are not all the time, so they're not overpowered. You can only trade at the end of a pay-per-view. The other general managers will offer you trades, but they are take it or leave it. There's no negotiating with these. And what I found is they never take the first option, because if you decline the first option, they'll come back with a better deal 9 times out of 10. Sometimes they won't. And they're also really tricky about, they'll sign a wrestler for a 1-week contract. When you make that trade and you're like, oh, I'm getting Roman Reigns and I got him so cheaply, it was an awesome trade, I won. Well, you got to look at that contract, because if you didn't win on that and it expires in a week, then you just traded one of your core pieces away for a one contract that you're going to have to renew. And if you don't have the money to renew that big of a contract, well, then you just completely lost out on that trade. But that's one of the cool things that makes this awesome to me, is because you have to strategically decide how to build your roster, and other factors change the way that it goes. So if you're having a hot streak with wrestlers, if you're not having a hot streak of wrestlers, it all matters. It still has your giant cruiserweight, bruiser, striker, all that junk that I don't care for in the other two games. I want to just put this wrestler against this wrestler. But this year is better because now other factors go into what gives you a great match. Everything is accumulated. Now the giant cruiser is not a must have to get good matches in the game, and I really like that. And if you don't like the striker, cruiserweight, giant, all that stuff, all you got to do is turn it off. Create a custom draft class. Go into your draft class. It will take about 10 minutes or so because there's a lot of wrestlers in the game, and I will get to that in a minute. But if you just change everyone to specialist and then save that as your roster file, that way everyone's set. You set it one time and then you just copy paste that down and make copies of that roster. Now you can just throw that roster in with all specialists. It will take a knock on your overall performance of the match because it's constantly specialist every week. However, that will give you the ability to book the matches that you want to book, and you're still making the money and getting everything out of it, which I think is really cool. So I've done it multiple different ways of trying to strategically put it together. And what I found is that specialist does not hurt your match rating near as much as it has in the past two games. So if you mark everyone as specialist, you can just play as everybody. But that roster is interesting. Did a video last year, I'll keep it up on the channel for 2K23, where I ran down all 70 characters that are locked by general manager mode. Well, this year all of them are back plus more, and I found this to be a very interesting way to go about it. And what they did was is they went ahead and took all of the myrise characters, the myrise characters we were wanting unlocked in all modes. Well, they took your favorite myrise characters from games past and the new in this current game, from Cole Quinn to Slade to uh, everyone you meet in the new myrise, and then Ava Moreno and Justine, and all of them that we wanted to play in exhibition mode are now locked behind myfaction, and of course they are locked in general manager mode. So if you are lucky enough to pull them in your free agency pool, which is also new this year, the free agency pool gives you talent scout tokens, and then you are able to go in and spend those tokens to look for the wrestler you want to look for. It is completely a random pull though, so you'll never know if you'll actually get Cole Quinn in week 1, week 25, or will he show up at all. I find that makes it very intriguing for going through because you never know what you're going to get. So that is a new aspect that I do like about the game. What also they've added is the ability to train your superstars, which I find absolutely awesome. You earn match points as you play in matches, do training promos that are new, and by building up your roster, you can go from a rookie that's level 1 and build it all the way up to legendary or immortal at 25. Every few levels, every 5 levels you go through, you get to pick a perk for that wrestler. So if you are using Rhea Ripley and the bonus comes up and you click it, you have two options to choose from. You can either choose from the first option or the second option, and they're random each time. So you can fill out your wrestler, and it is permanent to that save file. If you start a new general manager mode, they will start out at 0 and you'll have to build them up again. So for this example, we'll use Rhea Ripley. You could have multiple versions of Rhea Ripley in different general manager modes, or you'll have a different build of Rhea Ripley than your friend will have a build of Rhea Ripley while you're playing general manager mode. And I think that's really cool. It leaves the option open for replayability, building different wrestlers different ways as you go through. Overall, the improvements to this game are amazing. They went ahead and changed the menus around where they're a lot easier to understand what's going on and what you need to do. And I think that's absolutely awesome. I love the new aesthetics of it all. It's easier to read. What I'm not crazy about is they changed where now you don't have to buy your stadium every week. You buy it one time and then that's what you use until you upgrade. That's fine. So we're saving money on not using all of our marketing and stuff. It's automatically set. That's cool. But you can't go backwards. Once you are at that stadium and if you go to stadium shows, then you are locked in that stadium show the whole time. You can't flip flop back in arenas like you could in the 22 and 23. To me, that's a miss. I wish that you were able to go around the arenas and pick what you want. If I want to wrestle in a high school one week to save money, and then to go back to a stadium show, that was a good strategic point in 23 that we don't have this year. But if you played general manager mode in the past in other games, all of your favorite parts are now here in this year's version. This is the best incarnation of my general manager mode, and they are listening to fans. They gave us trades. We got new match types. All the new match types that are in the game are in general manager mode, with the exception of the gauntlet match, because we still can't have 6 players. It's still fatal 4-way as most as you can go. But overall, how I would rank general manager mode is it is so fun if you like that game. If you don't like the managing system, it's not going to be your cup of tea. But if you want to give it a try and learn how management system works in this and other games, this is a great jumping off point for if you actually find out you like these kind of games. Then there's other ones that do way more than what 24 does. But overall, for the best one in this wrestling series, it definitely is. Hopefully next year they improve on it and keep unlocking and add us more things to general manager mode. But I think they did a great job with it this year. If you like those kind of games, you're going to love it. If you hate these kind of games, there's nothing here that's going to make you love it, but it will make it easier so that you can try to play it. And then maybe you'll find the love for general manager mode there, like so many people do have. And if not, there's so many other modes to play in WWE 2k24. But how I would rank it is like this. Is it fun? Absolutely. And for a gameplay standpoint, hands down the best general manager mode we've ever had in a WWE game. But that's my thoughts on general manager mode. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on general manager mode. myrise, or your career mode that it's in WWE 2k24. This year it has 2 brand new stories. I have one for the females division and one for the male division. I have played both of them. I have beaten both of them a couple of times now to make sure that we get all the unlockables. That's one thing they changed is this year there is over 80 unlockables that you must go through to unlock in each game, and multiple playthroughs, because you won't get all of your unlocks on just one playthrough. They made sure that's impossible. So you're going to spend a lot of time in myrise this year. So how does it stack up with other myrises? What is it like to play it? Well, if you've played WWE 2K22 or 23 and 24, these functions are the exact same. It looks like this is what 2K is going with, giving us this version of how to do things. You use your cell phone, you have your people you stand in front of and you move and you talk to more people. One thing they took out this year was the traveling of locations. In the last couple of games, you would have to go into your menu and change locations. That is gone. Now you change locations automatically when you talk to everyone in that area. And at least we're not stuck in the airport for 6 months. So that is an improvement. Both myrise stories are completely unique. I won't go into any spoilers here because you're gonna spend a lot of time in them. Let's keep the surprises. And there were a few surprises of wrestlers that I didn't think that were in the game, that are in the game, and there's multiple unlocks that I didn't think they'd do it the way they did this year with the unlocks is not only is it just attires, it is my faction cards, it is entrances, it is move sets, it is paybacks. There's so much that you want to unlock in this myrise. And on the channel, I have a full guide, spoiler free, of how to unlock everything in the game. Look for the playlist, how to unlock everything. And for all 80 items, we're getting them all pumped out for you so you know exactly where to go, why to go, how to go in myrise to get all of those awesome things. But how does it stack up with other myrises? Well, I'm going to base it off the last couple years that they've split and gave us a male and female story. And for me, this is the best women's superstar story there's been. I enjoyed it a lot. It does a lot better of not necessarily holding your hand, but letting you explore the story for yourself if you take the time and read the text messages and, go through all the dialogue options, talk to everybody. It's actually really well thought out. If you've never played a wrestling game before, it is perfect. You're not missing out on anything. And if you have played other wrestling games going all the way back to 19, there are a lot of Easter eggs and callbacks to those older games that you're not missing anything if you haven't played, but if you have played, then you are getting a ton of Easter eggs and nostalgia pops that they brought all this back. And it's 2K has their own canon for these wrestlers now. It seems like several of these wrestlers, the storylines just continue, and I found myself more excited about that, finding out what happened to my favorite myrise characters from years past, than I did the actual story in the male myrise. That I did not like it. It was very predictable where it shouldn't be, and the female version of the myrise was a lot better to me because the story, I didn't know exactly where it was going, and when I thought I did, it changed. With the male myrise, I feel like, okay, you could see where the story's going. I hope I'm wrong, and I wasn't. So that's what took the enjoyment away from me. I felt I just enjoyed the women's side way more this year than I did the guy side. It was so well done, but it's still not a bad. The male myrise is not bad. Is it better than last year's? Yeah, it kind of is with the way that you have more to do, but it's not much better. Whereas the female myrise story is leaps and bounds better than it was in last year's games. So this is a 50-50 for me because you need to play all of them. And you have, I'll put it down like this. The male myrise, you have one good story. The female myrise, you have one great story. And I think that's what brings it all together is the gameplay and stuff is still there. If you've never played it, it's more the same. If you have you never played it at all, you're going to enjoy your first runs through it. I am glad though we only get to play it a few times and we don't have to play it 50 times to unlock everything, because if you did, I think it would wear off its welcome really quick. But how do you guys think about myrise? Which version is your favorite one of the game? Comment down below and let me know your myrise journey. Which one did you start with? Have you finished them all? And of course, if you need any unlocks or any hidden secrets in the myrise this year, make sure you check out the channel. We have plenty of videos that go over everything you could ever want to know about myrise, and it's spoiler free, so you can watch them as you're trying to find stuff without running the story. And like I said, even though I didn't care for the men's myrise as much as the female myrise, there's still a lot of story there and Easter eggs and stuff that's actually really cool they put in the game. But that's my thoughts on myrise. Let me know what your thoughts are. Of course, most people play your exhibition matches or your play now matches. So let's go over the actual gameplay of WWE 2k24. How does it hold up into the airs of other games in the past, or how good is it just compared to 2k22 and 23? Well, compared to those two games, it is a lot smoother and everything actually works for the most part the way that it's supposed to. Is there still some hiccups? Yes. Have we ever played a wrestling game without hiccups in the ring? No. there's way less than there have been in the years past. The newer additions of things you can do and the attention to detail from face paint fading off of wrestlers and your created stars, that makes a nice touch. Being able to pull the straps down if you're the Undertaker or some of the other wrestlers in the game that use straps, it is absolutely incredible. The new Crimson factor that allows it to be look as real as they can make it real, and it's not overdone. I feel like they do just enough that it gets the point across. To being able to use announce tables again, to brand new match types like special guest referee returning for the first time in over like 20 years, it feels like. It was 17, but it feels like it was a lot longer than 2K17. But now special guest referee is back. It is only available in one-on-one matches. Hopefully that we get that in all matches next year. But for the first time back in a while, it's perfect to me. It's if you want to be down the line referee, you want to be the Charles Robinson or even play as Charles Robinson, you can and be the perfect ref. If you want to be an evil ref and get kicked out, you can. If you want to turn off the rules and have no holds barred in this ref's match, you can do that too. And every superstar comes with a custom ref attire so that every wrestler looks like a ref, or you can pick customs attires, or you can make your own referee attire if you want to do that. It's absolutely awesome. It's so fun to play special guest referee. Ambulance match for the first time since the DS is back in the game. Is it fun? Absolutely. You can jump off the ambulance, you throw your opponent in the ambulance. You can either go find the ambulance backstage and end the match that way. The attention to detail in the ambulance match is awesome. The casket match for the first time since SmackDown 2. Is it perfect? It's casket match. Is it better than SmackDown 2? Yeah, it's better than SmackDown 2. In SmackDown 2, you could pick the casket up and throw it around, but you couldn't actually, you just threw your opponent into it, punched him a couple times, match over. This, you have to actually fight your way, finisher after finisher, to get them into the casket, go through a mini game, make sure that you keep the casket lid shut. There's a lot more to it. It feels like a nice casket match. I enjoy it for what it is. That and then the gauntlet match makes its return for a while. If you want to create a slobber knocker from back in the old days, it is possible. That's absolutely awesome. Several different ways you can go against 4 superstars, 30 superstars, 3 different options in it. So they nailed it out the park by adding new match types. Older match types that have been in the game have been reworked. Tag matches work better, 6-man tags work better. All your tournaments are in if you love tournaments. All of your match types are in. Custom matches back. Everything is awesome on the match play side. The attention to detail and how things go about in the game is awesome. The shadow effects, the lighting is awesome. If you're looking for the lighting in the ring, it's subtle details that you don't notice. Oh, hey, shadows work. Or, hey, this does have the right glare on it. Or this is supposed to light up. They did a wonderful job with the presentation in the ring. Match is a lot smoother. Not perfect, but a lot smoother. And this is one of the best presentation-wise for gameplay that we've had in years. It looks better than ever. It plays better than ever. Is it fun? Absolutely. The play mode is so fun. You can go through, put titles on the line, everything you could want in play mode. This is where you can do anything and everything. I think it's great. But of course, that's not all the modes in the game. But for gameplay, if we're rating gameplay, this is how we're going to put gameplay. It's a 9 out of 10. There's still flaws in it. It's not 100% workable. There's still a few flaws, but not as many as there's been in years past. Not near as many glitches, and the ring work just works, and it's fun to play as anybody, and everyone plays different, and it's absolutely cool. So I give the gameplay a 9 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Where would you rate the gameplay for WWE 2K24 based on older games past, or based on Hey, I've never played a wrestling game. Is it fun to you? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, my faction. The thing that has the player universe divided the most, I feel like, in WWE 2k24 is, of course, my faction. I could say a lot of bad things about it. I could say a lot of good things about it. And basically depends on what side of the fence you're on. If you like littered microtransaction games, if you like Ultimate Team, if you like, my team in 2K basketball, then this one is the most watered down version of all of those modes. And it's my faction. Have they made improvements to it this year? Because it is sticking around forever, it feels like. And yes, they have made a lot of improvements. This is the best incarnation of my faction. No, gone now are contracts, so you no longer need to pay them coins to use superstars that you paid them coins for. So they did settle that. But what they did is went ahead and up prices of everything in the store. So you're still going to have to sit and grind or pay hard earned money to buy those My Faction points to open packs this year. And in early examples, we're seeing that packs are already starting out at way more expensive than they have in the last 2 years' games. So, but the currency you earn for doing stuff has not gone up as much as you think it would for the last two games. So it doesn't really balance out. It is a grindy system, but at least they've made it a little bit better. Faction Wars as a new twist on things, allowing you to go down a skill tree line basically of picking what matches you'll get, what bonuses you'll get. It's really cool. It's fun. My main problem with it is that you have to have tickets for it. And if you just want to sit and grind that mode for hours, it won't let you because you can't buy more tickets at this point at the time of review, so you can only earn a few a week to play. And if you want to play this mode all the time and grind it, you can't, and I don't like that part of it because it's actually a funner mode than what the last two just straight up fatal four-way matches have been, or 8-man tag, whatever, the cluster that is Faction Wars in the last two games. That match is still there, but at least there's some other matches. I have a lot of ladder matches though, and I don't feel like that. I feel like they need to spread the ball around a little bit and give us some extreme rules or just more one-on-one matches as we go up these trees. I think that would help a lot. Give me more one-on-one matches, not always ladder matches. But overall, Faction Wars is better. It's cool. I mean, but I want to play more. I wish that we didn't have to wait for tickets. Hopefully they resolve that like they did the contract issue. They've also added that you unlock with new daily events and live events. If you are hardcore about this game, though, and you want to play My Faction, if you're going to jump in and play, you need to start now because you want to collect all the points you can to unlock stuff with the early modes because it just gets harder as the year goes. And some of those cards won't be available if they do like years past to pick up to play the live events in. But they've made a lot of changes to that. Of course, proving grounds are still here as you go through the 5 chapters, and they'll add more as the year goes on. You have new ranked play online, so you can, pretend fight over being ranked in a leaderboard if that's your thing. If you like leaderboards, go in with your My Faction cards and figure out how to climb the ranks of that. But it's a leaderboard. They also added quick play options so you can just play with people around the world without having rankings on. Live events make a return. Your faction wars are a lot better. The token market's still there, more expensive now, so you need more tokens, but you're not gaining as many tokens. So I'm not happy with the way they put it out. They need to balance it just a little bit better for me. All your cards, cool. If you're into this mode, it's great. If you're thinking about jumping off into it and trying it out, it's not a bad starter mode for how complex some of the other card collecting games get. This is the dumbed down version of it. So I think it's a little too dumbed down. If you're going this far with microtransactions and stuff, I think that you should just go ahead and make it a perfectly running mode at this point and hook it to Supercard. That's, hook the two game modes together. That way you can share cards from mobile game and that one. That's the unity we need since we're going all in with my faction. Overall, it's the best version of my faction. It's the best addition they added is that now persona cards are a thing, and if they have an alternated attire, then you can unlock it and use it in your game. That is the one feature that we needed. However, it's not for everybody. It's only for chosen superstars. So there will be certain superstars that are still locked behind my faction this year, especially your myrise characters and some other attires that will be locked exclusively to my faction. That's still the only way you can play them. So we're getting some. We'll have to wait till the end of the year to see how it balanced out. My guess is it'll be 80% locked and 20% we get in our main game, but we'll have to wait and see as the year goes on and how much content they actually release for it. It is the best version of my faction we have ever had, hands down. Is it your cup of tea? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about it. How would I rate it on hot garbage to awesome? Well, it's definitely not awesome, but it's not quite hot garbage either. If you're into those kind of modes, it's perfect. If you hate those kind of modes, there's nothing here that's going to make you go, yes, this is my mode. But there is enough there that you will play it, and it's tolerable enough to unlock those persona attires you want to use in the main game. So, is it perfect? No, but everyone wins depending on how you play my faction this year. But let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on my faction? Are you excited? Are you even going to touch it? Do you want more coverage of my faction, of packs and stuff? Let me know in the comments below. But overall, it's my faction, and my faction is here to stay, whether we want it to or not. At least we're getting some attires out of it. Not all, but some. Oh, universe mode. What can we say about that? How does it stack up with games from the past? How does it go against the older universe mode games? Well, that's not fair. How do we score it though? Universe mode has a major problem that it has every year for a while now. And if you're looking for any fixes, I do have a video on the channel that will walk you through how to set up universe mode to make it the smoothest, best experience possible. And that's my issue with it, is that it needs to be fixed because there's so many things wrong with it. And to give an overview of this, has been the same universe mode since 2K19. They just keep pasting on top of things. They don't take stuff out. So it bloats the mode, which will then eventually corrupt your save file or cause rivalries to go wonky, your match types to go wonky, because they just keep adding on. So one of the best ways to do that is to clean it out before you start a universe mode. I do have that full video on the channel. Like I said, I highly recommend watching that and going step by step so you know exactly what we're talking about when it comes to fixing the mode, because doing it this way, it works and it's fun and it works right. And I want everyone to get the best experience out of universe mode. That's why I put that video out there. But how do I grade universe? Well, compared to years past, there's not a lot changing for the looking of it or how the majority of it works. It's not a straight copy paste job from 2K22 and 2K23, but it's close. It's close to a copy paste job, but they did add new features into it this year that takes that a little bit away. And we'll say minor improvements, things that should have worked now do work, and that makes it better. So it is the smoothest version of universe mode that we've had in a while. Is it the best version? Absolutely not. But it is a serviceable version to play the most up-to-date game. It's the best universe mode that 2K has put out since they returned with 2K22 and 23. It is definitely hands down better than what that was. But there's a lot of things that I still don't like about it. The rivalry system being able to not be moved. It's still your same 4 rivalries from last year. They did add new rivalry cutscenes, which is awesome. They add more storylines, more ways to go through it. That's improved. It works better. I enjoy the rivalry system. I just wish that it worked different than the way it does in universe mode. I wish there was more flexibility to it, or the fact that it didn't mess up your match types, that or it overrides everything in the mode. So if you start that rivalry, everything else is second place until that rivalry is complete. And that drives me crazy. Overall, the rivalry experience is fun, but just the way it's implemented, yeah, I don't like that much. But overall, it's the sandbox, being able to go through and play as much as you want with you want custom shows, awesome. You want to do it 1990s Raw or WCW, it's possible. All of the stuff is there in universe mode that has been in the years past. It's a great sandbox mode. It's the number one played mode by most players. If you played the past games, you're getting more of the same. If you've never played a universe mode, this is the one to dive into, because this is the most up-to-date, smooth version of universe. Implement my fixes, give it a try, see if it makes it even better. It's the best version. I enjoy it. You're going to spend a lot of time in universe mode just going through everything. So to me, is it fun or is it hot garbage? It's fun, with some caveats. It can be made fun if you put the work into it, which is the knock on it for me, because you're making me this mode. I shouldn't have to spend 3 hours setting it up to enjoy it. Hopefully one day they will listen and fix the problems with it. But for a universe mode, out of all the other universe modes, this one's pretty good and it's fun to play as, and that's what we require in a video game. Is it fun or is it frustrating? And this year, for the first time in a couple years, there's more fun than there is frustration. But there's still a lot of frustration that doesn't need to be there at this point. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the almighty universe mode of WWE 2k24. Is it the best mode you've ever played? Is it the worst mode? Do you even play it? Let me know in the comments below. So how would we score WWE 2k24? Well, for this review, I'm going to do something a little different. Is it fun? Is it garbage? Well, also, I'm going to take my faction out. That's right, because we have to look at this game as the overall arc of how it compares with No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain and 2K14. Where does it stand up on that guideline for me? And I still have arguments to this day. I see arguments all the time of, well, WrestleMania 2000 was better than No Mercy. In reality, it comes up with what you grew up with is going to be your favorite wrestling game. But we're 24 scales. I'm going to take my faction out of it because it has to be 100% offline. Because can you pick this game up 10 years from now and play it when all the online services are over? And will it still be fun for you? Or is it hot garbage? The answer is it's fun. I enjoyed every minute of this. Is it worth picking up? People ask me all the time, do I recommend this game? Absolutely. I'll throw in a couple personal caveats because I know you're making the decision on purchasing it or how you feel about it. If you're thinking about purchasing it and you haven't picked it up yet, is it awesome to have right now? Yes. Are they still adding DLC and stuff? The season pass, all of it, awesome if you're going to get into that. Will it hurt you if you wait a while? Only if you play My Faction. If you are a My Faction player, you want the game as soon as possible. That way you can grind those levels. But keep in mind, as my biggest gripe with My Faction is, since I scaled in 22 and beat The Undertaker and got the, 500 wins, and then a year later they turned the service off. To be technical, it was 22 months later after the game came out. But then they turn the server off. I have no proof that I have that Undertaker card. All that time I spent in My Faction 22. Nothing. With the older games, if you unlock it, as long as it's on your save file, that's the game you have. Those services are going online. So with 24, I have to go ahead and take My Faction out of it. With the bonuses, is the server online or not? It's awesome without online. If you're picking it up, is it worth, grabbing right now? If you can't wait, yes. Will it hurt you to wait for a sale? No. Is this an all-time game? Absolutely. This will go down in the series as It doesn't get it, it's not going to compare to your No Mercies and 2K24s. This is its own game, and it just feels special. And out of all the wrestling games that we've had, there's only a few that we call special. And to me, WWE 2K24 will go on that list. And to me, it is special. And I can't quite put my finger on it. What makes it so awesome? Is it a combination of everything? There's so many things in this game. It feels special to me. But let me know in the comments below, what is your score on WWE 2K24? Is it fun or is it hot garbage? Let me know in the comments below. I'm excited to see what you guys think about WWE 2K24. Remember, make life your beach. We'll see you on the next video.